Carlos Prates was supposed to be taking on Randy Brown at UFC 309 November 16th, but that's not going to happen. Prates is fighting the week before, November 9th against Neil Magny. So Prates versus Magny will headline that event, a 5-minute round fight at the UFC Apex. The UFC is very high on Prates. They're looking to have this to be a showcase of his skill set. He's a very exciting fighter, very exciting striker. Won 10 in a row, 9 straight victories by KO, and the last one was over veteran in the UFC welterweight division, Li Jingliang. For Magny to win, he's going to have to get that fight to the ground. Standing up against Prates, he's going to get hurt and more than likely knocked out. Since it is a 5-round fight, maybe he's going to try and drag it into deep water and slow things down to the championship rounds if it can make it that far. The UFC continues to use Neil Magny as a gatekeeper in the welterweight division. He's around 50-50 in that role, allows half the guys in and kicks half the guys out. Morales, Machado Gary, and Rachmanov he let in. Mike Malott, Phil Rowe, and D-Rod he did not. Prates is looking to get into the rankings with a victory. Neil Magny is ranked number 15 in the welterweight division. Number 14 ranked Luque is taking on Nick Diaz in December. Michael Venom Paves lost to Ian Gary. Morales beat Magny. And Thompson just lost to Buckley via KO. Gilbert Burns lost to Brady. And Gary and Colby may be fighting December 14th in Tampa, Florida. That November 9th Fight Night card headlined by Prates versus Magny has a couple more interesting fights on it, like Rainier de Ritter, a former champion and won championship, making his UFC debut, taking on Gerald Meerschaert, as well as a rematch between Nicholas Dalby and Zaleski dos Santos, as well as Cody Garbrandt taking on Miles John in a bantamweight contest. From that antitrust lawsuit settlement, nearly 100 fighters are going to get over $500,000. One of those fighters is Anderson Silva, who could net $10 million from it. The lawsuit covers 2010 to 2017, and during that period, Anderson Silva was the UFC's biggest star. A bunch more fighters cut from the UFC roster to make way for Dana White's Contender Series fighters. So removed from the roster is Blake Builder, Herbert Burns, who's Gilbert Burns' brother, Christos Giagos, Giannis Gamori, Yaris Dano, and TJ Brown. A couple other fighters were also cut from the UFC roster the other day. Dawon Jung, Kei Krzyzewski, Brianna Fortino, and Victoria Leonardo. Valentina Shevchenko becomes the first fighter to get 8 rubies on her championship belt. She's coming off a victory over Alexa Grasso. As a result of the victory, she's back in the number 1 pound-for-pound spot in terms of women. That was a dominant decision victory. 50-45 on all the judges' scorecards. Islam Dulatov is a model and a fighter and on the UFC roster now after winning on the Contender Series this week. He's also a massive star in his home nation of Germany. He received a very passionate welcome from a massive amount of fans arriving back at home after his victory on the Contender Series. One championship November 8th show adds Buchecha versus Ali Akbari in a heavyweight contest. Jack Shore versus Yusuf Zalal confirmed for the November 2nd Edmonton, Alberta, Canada Fight Night card. Anthony Smith thinks if Volkan Oezdemir finishes Carlos Ulberg next month, he could contend for the title. If Ankalaev wins versus Rakic, that would be foul to deny him. It gets to the point where winning has to matter. Dana White trying to get people to vote for Trump by saying Kamala Harris is the sitting VP and running for president of the U.S. She's incapable of putting a sentence together without a teleprompter. And even she appears to know she is in way over her head. This election is very important, and this, along with many other clips of her attempting to answer questions, should scare the shit out of you. Luke Rockhold and Chito Vera in Ecuador together. Chito Vera lost to Davison Figueiredo via decision in August, and Luke Rockhold knocked out Joe Schilling in Karate Combat in April. David Onama versus Lucas Almeida added to UFC 309. Suarez versus Janji Doba added to UFC 310.
Representing Ireland, D-Weight 134. And her opponent, representing the great fighting nation of Brazil, Aline Pereira. Pereira weighs in 130 pounds.
Calma, ei. Aê. Chama!
Brandon Royval is going to be taking on Taira this weekend in the main event. He was offered to fight Kai Asakura at UFC 305, but he turned it down because he wanted more money and a guaranteed title shot if he won. But he's fighting another tough Japanese prospect in the main event in Taira this weekend. Taira is the favorite in that main event. In the co-main event, gonna go with Junyoung Park to win a decision over Brad Tavares. Park is pretty relentless in terms of going for takedowns, and once he's there, he's constantly peppering you with punches, non-stop movement in one way, shape, or form. So I see him taking at least 2 of 3 rounds en route to a decision victory. Grant Dawson will pick up a decision over Garcia by taking him down and blanketing him for the entire 3 rounds. Just a smothering session en route to a 30-27 victory. D-Rod will pick up a decision over Alex Morono. Chidi Njokwani will knock out Jared Gordon. Abdul Razak Al Hassan will knock out Josh Fremd. Junior Tafa will knock out Sean Sharaf. And Polastri decisions McKenna. Post your picks in the comments.
Я думаю, что это нужно сделать. Да, попробуй. Да. Молодец.